Hello, my little misfitting ghouls. Um, yeah, sort of do a video on why I think learning to play an instrument uh, is something that benefits you in many ways. Just the sheer fact of relaxing, playing something, learning something, finding out new notes and sounds and chords and melodies, these things that could probably seem complicated at the beginning, but I think after, you know, I don't know, maybe after say 3 months or something, if you've studied it a little bit better and you've gone on the internet and you've sat with your instrument, um, things start to come together quite quickly. Um, yeah, of course, you need to be a little bit perhaps musical minded, and maybe even have an ear for music as well, which I always had. So I don't read music, although I could probably tell you what the notes are on a staff or something. But that's not where I come from. Most of my stuff has been done by ear, so tend to know whether something is sounding right or not. That's just years and years of practice. But yeah, I'll start off with talking about the ukulele because this instrument is it's so easy and obtainable, and much less complicated than the guitar. Um, I wish ukuleles would have been popular in my early youth, but they weren't. And it was, I suppose, if I picked up a ukulele, people would think that was odd when I was, 15 or something, 14. So yeah, I always wanted to play the guitar, but I do wish I'd started with a ukulele because the uke is is so light. It's got less strings. It's easier to play because the strings are these nylon, sort of like a replacement for catgut strings. They're just nylon, so they're quite soft. You know, they just it's just a lovely easy instrument. You can hold it anywhere. You can be lounging on your settee. You can have your feet up on the bed or something, and you can still keep this because it's not heavy and it's right by your side. So um, this happens to be not the very small ukulele, which is the soprano. This is the tenor. Uh, it's about, I think it was it 34 inch? I'll just check. Not, sorry, 26 inch. It was, yeah, and the scale length, that's from the end of the fretboard there to the bridge. The scale length is about 430 millimeters or 17 inch. Yeah. Um, Let me just check that. Yeah, so 26 inch. And the body itself is, yeah, about 11 inches long. It's not too big, and it's only 8.5 inches wide. 8.5 inches wide. So a very easy. I think the only downside with if you have one and you have to change the strings, usually if the strings have been on in the shop for a while, they're usually uh, quite tight around these tuning posts. But if you put some new strings on, they really do take a lot of tuning up, and they keep going out of tune. So you have to keep stretching them like this and keep winding them. So when you're putting new strings on, it's a bit of a pain, but once you get through that, the other thing I like to do with the tenor ukulele is I like to put a thicker G string here at the, I call it the top, but the bit that's facing me. So the one that's nearest me, this one, this is a thick string. Now, if you bought a tenor uke from a shop, that would be one of the thinnest strings. It'd be a high G, right? It's just how they make them. They're supposed to have a high G there. So it's G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A. Now, I put a low G on, so it's just basically a thicker nylon string. So, because as a guitar player, I was always used to having the bass notes on in that position on a guitar. So it's the same with this. So if I'm playing, it doesn't matter what I'm playing. So it's going, from high notes down to low notes, just like on a guitar. The very low note, the low G is there. Chord wise, a lot of the chords are very well, almost identical to guitar, but they're not the same chords. So that shape, which would normally be a D on a guitar, is actually a G on a ukulele. But it's quite easy to start memorizing these shapes. It's the shapes that you have to remember. And then once you know the shapes, you know where they are on the instrument. And like that, a C on this guitar, so a C on this ukulele, which is just one finger there on the 3rd fret on the high string there, is C major. Now, to do a C major on a guitar, it's like one finger here, miss a string, 2 fingers here, it's over 3 frets. So no wonder, learning the guitar is just that much harder at the beginning. Well, whenever you learn it, it's still going to be hard. But with a ukulele, you can just put one finger there. Now you've got C. Now you can put another finger there, and now you've got C7. So C major, C 7th. Same with the G I've just showed you, which is like that. So there's your D. You drop that down to there, do that, and go. Now that's G7. So G, G7. So you just go through these simple patterns, shapes, should I say. And then, of course, you will probably learn how to put a finger across. We call that a bar, and it bars all the strings down in one place, like, say, there. I'll just move the other fingers out of the way. So that finger just presses down there. And so that's called the bar, and that presses them all down. And then you use these 3 fingers to make the shapes. So they now make the shapes. So now you've opened up a whole new series of the neck to play more chords. And so, yes, you can start down there, then you can go there. Yeah, so now you can play anywhere on the neck. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so if anybody in the Misfits wants to, I don't know, even if you want to start as a hobby, just learning, you can either ask me or you can go on YouTube, or I'll do little videos of certain things if you want something explaining. And I'll do that if you've got any ukulele players. I can do the same with a guitar, I suppose, if somebody wanted to try something with the guitar. I can show people things if they need to be shown. But that was my video about how a musical instrument can help you to stay mentally sound and reasonably happy. So, see you on the next one. Free Lucy.